Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Welcome everyone to this wonderful Meherful conversation with Ruzbeh and Bharucha, Cyrus Kambata, and dearest Jimmy Uncle, one of the oldest Baba lovers. And today, three of us are going to converse with our Ruzbeh and Bharucha about his new book, Avatar Meher Baba, The Twilight Songs. This book has been inspired to write in May 2019. I would like to introduce our author and, as he loves to be called, storyteller, Ruzbeh N. Bharucha. A devotee of Sai Baba of Shirdi, Ruzbeji is one of the most influential spiritual writers of our times. He is the author of 21 books, 21st being the Avatar Meher Baba, the Twilight Songs, including the best-selling The Fakir quadrilogy, which has been translated into several languages. This book is very, very special to all our hearts as Baba lovers because it is a book that spells out stories of love, obedience, and surrender of lives that have lived with the beloved Avatar himself. I would begin the conversation by asking Ruzbeji to share with us some anecdotes and experiences on how this book came about. Since all your books have primarily been with Sai Baba of Sherdi at the core of the central focus, how did you get inspired to write about Avatar Meher Baba and these stories of love and surrender? And
Yeah. Hi, Jai Baba to everyone. Thank you all for coming here. Thanks a lot, Roshani, Cyrus, and Jimmy. Not only for being present now, but being present throughout the journey of this book. In 2019, I submitted my fourth volume of The Fakir to Penguin. And they called me up. Vaishali Mathur called me up and said, Ruzbeh, we need another book for 2021. I had nothing in mind. I had no idea what I was going to write on. So one evening, I sat down to pray to Sai Baba of Shirdi, and I said, I need to write another book. I'm not getting any inspiration for anything. And suddenly, I heard Avatar Meher Baba. So I got up from my prayers and I said, okay, Sai Baba wants me to write on Avatar Meher Baba. What do I write? Because there are innumerable books written on the avatar by people who have spent a lot of time with him, by people who are scholars who have researched all their lives about Meher Baba. And I said, what can I write which would do even a little justice on to the avatar? And a month passed and I was breaking my head, nothing was coming through. When I again sat down for prayer and I told Baba, you have told me to write on Avatar Meher Baba, but I'm blank. I don't know what to write on him. And I didn't get any answer. I went to sleep. And in the morning when I woke up, I knew what I had to do. It was just there. I knew I had to write on those who had spent time with the Avatar. Uh, as a devotee of Sai Baba, I've always been fascinated by those who have spent time with Sai Baba. Rather than the scholars, the lay people who have spent time with Baba, they are the ones whose stories have really interested me because they have been with Sai Baba. And I said, yes, this is a good point. I would like to know about Meher Baba through the eyes of those who have spent time with the avatar. And this is how the book came about.
great, thank you so much. So, when you started, were you aware of who could be there? How many people could be there whose stories could come up in the book? who were alive at this point in time? Because I know that you had stressed upon that you wanted people who have lived with the avatar, but who are alive in today's times.
Yeah. You see, Roshni, when this thought came to me, the first person I called up was my sister Jennifer, because Jennifer is a staunch Avatar Meher Baba devotee. And I told Jennifer, Jenny, do you know anyone who has spent time with the Avatar? And she said, yeah, Jimmy uncle has spent time with the Avatar. So I said, okay, can you fix an appointment with Jimmy uncle? So, we called up Jimmy uncle and he said, yeah, come over. And I remember we had gone on a Sunday and he sat down, he heard me out and he said, sure, give me a few days and I will send you all the details. And that was how the first batch of people came, and I started connecting with them. Then I went to Meherabad where I met you, Roshni, and you so lovingly said, I know a few people, let me help you out. Then when I was interviewing Mehnath, he was a big help. He put me on to many people. He put me on to a lot of foreigners. In fact, most of the foreigners that we are talking about have come through him and Jenny Keating. And everyone was very forthcoming. Of course, one thing I was very clear on, I will not take any material that is been floating around on YouTube or articles already written on Meher Baba. So a lot of the devotees said, why don't you just go on the computer? I've already spoken on Meher Baba. And I said, no, either you talk to me or I will not include you in the book. Because I was very clear, I wanted first-hand information. And 25 people graciously agreed. A few people said, no, we have already spoken a lot. You can take it from YouTube, which I refused. And fortunately, it's come out to be a decent book. It's come out to be a decent book.
I would like to move from here towards our dear Baba lover Cyrus Kambata, who is, as we all youngsters call, the encyclopedia on Avtar Meher Baba. I know he'll immediately refute the moment he starts talking, but yet with Cyrus's diligent inputs in the editing of the book, and also Jimmy Uncle and Cyrus have written the two forewords in the book as well. And I've seen one of the first books which has got two forewords. At least I have not read any book up till now which has got two forewords. So I would like Cyrus to step in as a youngster who has not met Meher Baba in physical form, but yet seems that he has lived his life with Avtar Meher Baba. Jai Baba, Cyrus.
Jai Baba. I didn't quite get your question, but all the same, if you want me to tell how I came to Meher Baba, or rather how Meher Baba came to me, I think it's already there as you yourself had interviewed me, and it's there on the YouTube, Live and Love God in Everyday Life. So it's all there. But there are certain things which I thought I may have missed out because I was thinking, in fact, I was clueless till about 3:30 this afternoon as to what are we supposed to do. So I sent a hurried note to Ruzbeh. I said, if you think you are going to ask me something from the book, I don't have the book and I don't even have the chapters. So he consoled me saying, don't worry about that. It's not about the book. It's just. So what I'm trying to say is, undoubtedly, Meher Baba is God in human form. When I got to know about Meher Baba through a very dear friend, Jimmy Patel, I was at a crossroad as to whether he is what he claims to be or he is a greatest fraud of our time. And I need to make a choice by having a first-hand experience of who Meher Baba is. So when I approached his father, Hoshang uncle, we call it, many people call him Hoshang Sa, his father, Jimmy's father, he lent me a book. And the very first book that I read was this book called The Perfect Master, right, by C.B. Purdom. Now, I'm not saying this title of the book, but actually this book, because this book came to me as a air, Varsa, we call it, from Hoshang uncle himself, because Jimmy presented this to me after Hoshang uncle passed over. And what impressed me at that age, I came to know about Meher Baba when I was 17. Today, my age is of the reverse figure as of now. So, yeah, what I liked about the book was The Perfect Master, Part 1, the very first chapter. It goes like this: this will be found a strange book, all the more strange because the story that it tells has not reached its end, because Baba was alive at that time. It is a story of a man whose life will appear incomprehensible, a life in which the contradictions of normal values and actions are prominent. Yet, this man says, I am God. And his mission is to change the world, though he neither speaks, nor writes, nor even seeks to get followers. It will arouse controversy, and I have no doubt that it will be misunderstood. I found this starting of the book extremely honest. It's not like somebody is putting Baba down our throat compulsorily. He is saying that this man says this, and it's up to you to choose whether you believe in him as the God man or not. So that made me start the so called seeking. And of course, after a lot of so called throwing so many tests on Meher Baba, I finally came to the conclusion that he is what he says he is. And then aroused a kind of a feeling that I must go and meet him and interact with him firsthand, one on one. And with great difficulty, I'm not going into the details because it's already there in your interview. I wanted to go and meet him, but I just couldn't. What I'm going to share today is what I have not shared with you, Roshani, something which, in my understanding now, after so many years, 54 years, seem to be very pompous, seem to be very, I would say, stupid, of writing to Meher Baba something at the age of 17. I could get hold of this letter many years later when I requested Era Jasawala, Baba's disciple, can I was once in the trust office and I said, I have written something to Baba. I don't know what I have written. Can I have a look at my own letter? That was many, many years after the letter was written and after Baba passed over. So this is what I wrote to him, which I said as a youngster. It starts with I write my name and address, Sri Sadguru Meher Baba, because that is how I thought he was addressed at that point in time. I hardly knew him a month or so after reading this book, and so I addressed him as Sri Sadguru Meher Baba. You bear with me for 2 minutes because I just like to read out. After much hesitation, I have decided to write to you, for this is an odd way of asking permission of becoming a disciple of a Sadguru. Then I'm introducing myself. I am a young Zarathustri of 17, studying in first year commerce class, but I am least interested in such studies, which would only help me to earn and eat. In such a life, we hardly get opportunities to realize an union with God, which should be our main goal. To do good turns to others or to render service and to help the needy, etc., etc. Once I had decided to have your darshan, but was discouraged for some reasons that I have already narrated in your interview, how I failed to reach there. And also when I received your circular number 70, stating that for your personal consideration, you will you would give your darshan from April 10th. That was in 1969. We call it the Great Darshan. I thought it wise not to interfere in your universal work, but I did not have the patience to wait till April next. And also, as you had stated, that no personal problems would be answered, I have decided to write to you this letter. The main reason of writing is to inform you. Although I know that you know everything and you are in everything, that I wish to be your disciple and would be very happy to surrender myself completely to your will. I would like to live with you and to lead a life of awakening others as you now do. Quite pompous, I would say. I know that you are a strict disciplinarian and life with you will not be a bed of roses. And I'm not used to such disciplined life, but still I wish to experience it. In world conditions as it exists today, it is very difficult to distinguish between real and unreal, right and wrong. And as I came to understand that God alone is real and everything else is illusory, I would certainly wish to steer my life towards His realization. I do not care for materialistic world and am not greedy about wealth, money, but to be detached from parents would be a little bit difficult, but I'm sure I could make them understand that whatever step I'm taking for my highest good. And then ending it, Sri Sadguru Meher Baba, please help me spiritually. If you feel it right, you may instruct me with a few do's and don'ts, which I would very earnestly accept and practice until I have the opportunity to meet you in Pune. And Baba did reply to this letter. If God wills, we may meet before it also. And that is how it happened. We met on the 1st of February 1969, when I had Baba's darshan in the crypt. Please forgive me if I have written anything which I ought not to have written, or in any way have displeased or disturbed you. And then I am giving the avatar some kind of an authority. If you are displeased with me, you may not reply to me, and I will know that I am not yet fit to become a disciple of a perfect master. And then I end it with yours loving and obedient Cyrus. So that's how the journey started, and ever since then there was no looking back. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Before moving on to Jimmy Uncle, I would like to read the cover transcript of the book Avatar Meher Baba, The Twilight Songs. When the word of my love breaks out of its silence and speaks in your hearts, telling you who I really am, you will know that this is the real word you have always been longing to hear. Avatar Meher Baba. Known as the Avatar, Meher Baba touched millions of lives. He took Samadhi on 31st January 1969. Since then, his followers who are blessed to have had been under his direct care still feel his presence strongly, even till date, and live their lives in complete devotion to him. Now, after more than 50 years of him having left the physical shell, one of the most read and loved spiritual writers, Ruzbeh and Bharucha, pieces together what it was to have experienced Baba in person, to have spent time in his blessed presence, guided and blessed by him. Through interviews with his followers, Bharucha recreates the life and times of Baba, his deep connection with his mandli, his miracles, his love, and his teachings. Such is the power of their words that Baba comes alive to readers as though he still walks among us in the physical body. It is a rare collection for those who want to know more about what it was like to spend time with the Avatar himself. And none other than our dearest Jimmy Uncle, who has a treasury of stories which we can listen to like 100 times and we would still find something new when he narrates the story in his inimitable style. So Jimmy Uncle, please step in and share with us a little bit about your story and your connection with Ruzbeh when the interview was to be done for your life with Avtar Meher Baba. Jimmy Uncle, are you there?
Yeah, very much there. What you read just now, Roshni, what can you hear me? What you read just now from the book is Baba's reply in response to people asking him, Baba, you have been saying you'll be breaking your silence, you'll be breaking your silence, you'll be breaking your silence. When are you going to break your silence? And that is when Baba gave this response that you read out, that I will break my silence in the hearts and minds of those kind of who love me, etc., etc. So that is Baba's response in asking, when will you break your response? Okay, what exactly you want me to tell about my life?
You can begin sharing right now, Jimmy Uncle, and how your story goes about being in the book.
Uh, Jennifer Ruzbeh's sister is a very, very dear friend of mine. She's she's a beautiful soul as much as she's a beautiful woman. And she told me that her brother, who's a Sai Baba follower and who has been writing books, etc., etc., and is a bestseller books on spirituality, especially on Sai Baba, he would like to write on people he would like to interview and write on people who have met Meher Baba. And I said, Ruzbeh is most welcome. Bring him along to my house and we'll take it forward from there. So one Sunday morning, Ruzbeh is brought by Jennifer to my house. Now, that first meeting was only kind of a prologue in the sense we didn't start with my stories on that day. It was just a background. He asked me, Jimmy, since you have been a Babala for past maybe 60 years, can you please help me with the names of those who have been with Baba, like you? I said, of course, I know quite a number, and I'm sure I will help you. And within a few days' time, I sent a long list to either Jennifer or directly to Ruzbeh. And Ruzbeh said, Jimmy, can you please talk to them? Because if I just go over to them or ring them up, they will say, who are you? So can you please talk to them, introduce me, and then you can say that Ruzbeh will give you a call or whatever. So I did exactly that. I did exactly that. I rang up quite a number of people. I said, this guy is writing a book on Baba. Please oblige him. He's doing a favor to Baba. He's doing for Baba. Then you should please help him. So this is how it went. Some said no. Some said, as Cyrus said, I'm already there. But by and large, people responded and they warmed up to Ruzbeh, and that's how that's how it started. So the genesis of this book is shown in my office in my house. So that is where it all started. Okay, talking about my life, I'm not going to tell you all the stories, but briefly speaking, to introduce myself to those who have not been introduced to me, I was blessed to have had Baba's darshan with my mother and my sisters when I was 16 years old at Guru Prasad. And I've been making these tall claims. And I don't think it's a tall claim that I met Meher Baba more than 100 times. 99.9% at Guru Prasad and once at Meherazad in the Mandli Hall. Just once at Meherazad. Otherwise, all at Guru Prasad. So that has been my journey. And the point I would like to emphasize is that I have been blessed to be with beloved Baba, maybe for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, all alone. All alone means all alone. Normally, when we say all alone, it means you, Meher Baba, and one of the mandli. One of the mandli has to be there, because then who will translate Baba's gestures? So normally it's understood as you, Baba, and one of the mandli. But I've been blessed to be with beloved Baba in Guru Prasad in the central hall for 2 to 3 minutes, all alone with him. You got to just close your eyes and imagine. And I'm not alone in Khan family. My mother and my younger sister Betsy have also had this privilege. I call it privilege, of course. No greater privilege in life than to be with beloved Baba all alone. And my mama, Khurshid Khan and Betsy, they were with Baba. They have been with Baba in a room all alone. Once again for 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, but they were together. Mom and Pepsi were together, and I was alone. Now I have traveled a lot. With His grace, with beloved Baba's grace, I have gone lot many places, a number of times, and consequently, I have met a big number of Baba lovers, Indian and otherwise. And you talk to people all the time. And I've come across not more than 10 people who have been with beloved Baba all alone. Not more than 10. I'm sure there were many more. I know there were more. But in a substance, what I'm trying to tell you is to be with beloved Baba all alone. Pratap Ahir, who's still around, Pratap Ahir has been one of them who has been with beloved Baba all along. So what I'm trying to say is this is one singular privilege which I will cherish for the rest of my life. So this is it. I have spent 7 days on Mehrabadi Hill when Baba's body was in the crypt, all 7 days. Today, if you ask how many people are around who have been like this all 7 days, I will say not more than 40 globally. Globally, not more than 40 who will say that I was there all 7 days. So this is me. And since then, I visited Mehrabad, Merazat, maybe 200 times. So this in substance is me.
Wow. So much of humility. This in substance is you, Jimmy Uncle. Uh, Ruzveji, I would like to ask, out of all the wonderful 25 stories that you have, which I know all would be, favorite in some way or the other, but still any humorous, any sweet anecdote that you remember while interviewing any of them that took place, and two, three such that you could share with us.
Okay, one thing which was virtually common with all was when they were speaking about the avatar, sometime during the interview they would start crying. And I felt that very touching because these are grown men and women in the Twilight song, in the Twilight age. And they are so open to a stranger where they don't mind crying in front of a stranger because they had never met me before. And they took me into their homes. They gave me, the love and the warmth of like a family member. And to cry in front of a stranger where you can't hold back your tears just goes to show the love that they all have for Meher Baba. I will not point out a story that was humorous, but you see, after I interviewed everybody, and I always used to tell them, I've got this recorder on, can I interview you? And they would say yes. And after I had interviewed everyone, I started transcribing. And I started transcribing 14 days after the first lockdown that took place. When in March, when dear Prime Minister just came and said, hey guys, you can't step out now. So I started transcribing. And after transcribing, I would send the article to those people who I had interviewed. And most of them would call me up and start screaming at me. What have you written? So I would say, I mean, I'm sorry, whatever I've written means I've written exactly what you've told me. What nonsense, I've never said this. Now remember, they are elderly people. So I would say, I'm so sorry, I think my recorder got you wrong. What do you want to say? So then they would make corrections. Then they would call me up. Son, we didn't mean to shout at you, but we are very possessive about Meher Baba. I said, yeah, no problem. And, you have just come, you're a new person, and you can't write your own words. And I would say, yeah, okay, okay. And one person changed the article 15 times. Once he called me up at 2:30 in the morning, and I actually thought, somebody had died or something. And I said, what happened? And he said, that line you have written, why did you write that line? And I said, which line? And he read out a line. And I said, okay, let me, open my laptop. And I'm wondering that I told him, you just changed that same line 2 weeks back. This is your line. No, no, no. What nonsense you're talking about? Are you doubting me? And it was fun. It was really fun because everyone would just call me up and say, what have you written? And the best part is I've got all the recordings. And if you see Roshani, I'm not very much in the book. I've not given my opinions. I've not said anything. I've just put whatever questions I have asked, only that is in the book. And I used to have a great laugh. After the first two phone calls, I realized that, okay, till the book is not published, and maybe even after it is published, I'm going to get phone calls of what have you written. And I just have to live with it. Because earlier, whenever I used to get a phone call from any Meher Baba person, I used to say, oh God, now what? After a point, I just got used to it. I would say, yes, yes, I'm so sorry, even I am growing old. Please tell me what. So it is, it's very sweet in the form of, they're so possessive. They're so possessive that, I find that very endearing. Initially, it kind of rattled me. But after 2, 3 phone calls, I realized that, okay, 25 people have been called. At least 18 to 19 are going to call me up and say, what have I written? I'll just have to live with it. So, I found this very sweet. And it's virtually across the board.
Yes, I can completely relate to that, and I'm sure Cyrus and Jimmy Uncle also about the possessiveness, and I would add a word meticulousness as well, and especially with the way Baba has been with every tea, with every
No,
full stop.
Roshani, you must
Sorry,
understand. You must understand. You see, when a person speaks, the person might kind of, speak a few things which
yeah,
given it a double thought. But when a person reads what they have spoken, it makes a big difference.
difference.
And they were very clear. They what nonsense. I've never said all this. And I had all the recordings. I didn't want to get into that. I would say, I am so sorry. I heard you wrong. My recorder heard you wrong. Okay, now what do you want me to do?
Great. Yes. I went with the meticulousness because Cyrus and also Jimmy Uncle and so many other Baba lovers that I know Shivan whose story is also there. These are a few personal inspirations to me in being in Baba's, this grand web of love and how to be extremely meticulous in what we set out. And I have had my own things as well with that. And
Roshni,
Cyrus,
Roshni, you must understand one thing. I have had number of books published by Penguin. They themselves called me, Vaishali called me up and said, you know what? I feel as though everything is being supervised by Meher Baba. And remember, she's not a real Meher Baba follower. We got the best artist, we got the best editors. COVID time, we could get the book printed. Penguin went out of its way to get a hardbound cover. The illustration is the original illustration of his photograph. So you must understand. I feel, he has been supervising even at Penguin what's going on.
Sure of that.
Yes, and I'm quite sure because I've had ample experience with Penguin. No book of mine has been handled with such great care as this one.
I would like to read just a few lines of both the forwards. The first one being from Jimmy Uncle, and then the second one being from Cyrus from the book Avtar Meher Baba, The Twilight Songs. Forward 1. This is by Jimmy Khan. Avtar Meher Baba, The Twilight Songs is a labor of love by Ruzbeh and Bharucha, a scholarly author on spirituality. It was my pleasure to be associated with him and this project right from its nascent stage. It began when Ruzbeh coming over to my house on 4 occasions to lead an ear to my stories. To lend an ear to my stories. Cyrus Kambata and I had the pleasure of being the co-editors and consequently read all the articles upfront before they were released. Some of the contributors of the stories had connections with the beloved Baba in their fetal stage, and yet some others as infants who were rocked in his lap. Some spent long years and some a few fleeting moments with him. Some have narrated their parents' connection with the beloved as they had not yet been birthed. We must understand and learn to accept the fact of past life regression of these fortunate ones, where one common factor emerges, and that is their past lives. They were surely connected with the Avatar as either a Mandli or his close disciples, dedicated workers, influential associates, or even silent appreciators. Be rest assured, people like Naushirwan Nalawala and Hila Talwar Kotwal have also been part of the Blue Bus tours. Now, a few lines from the second forward by Dear Cyrus Kambata. Avtar Meher Baba, The Twilight Songs, is a straight from the heart rendition of those remaining few providential souls who have had the supreme good fortune of having met and interacted with God in human form when He trod the earth in the 20th century. The compilation of the brainchild of Ruzbeh and Bharucha, who is an accredited writer of over 20 books on spirituality, esoterica oneness, and self growth. Ruzbeh also conducts workshops and runs blogs. Avtar Meher Baba, The Twilight Songs, is a book of the heart and is to be read with an open heart. Although over half a century has passed since the God man has dropped his form, the narrations exude a feeling of freshness, a straight from the oven kind of overwhelming aroma and warmth of love. The common thread running through all the narratives is the radiation of beloved Meher Baba's pure love, unparalleled compassion, sympathetic understanding, and our weaknesses and consummate forgiveness. With this half a century down path that Cyrus has written, I would like to ask both Cyrus and Jimmy Uncle to step in for this question a little by little. That it feels, up till now we had Baba books written by Baba lovers and within the circle, sold at our centers and so on. This is one of the first very times, at least that I know, that conventional, global publisher like Penguin has published the book of Tar Meher Baba, The Twilight Songs. And I felt that Baba is now accelerating through this manifestation period for the world to know about him. Would love to hear from both of you. Jimmy Uncle, if you would like to begin, or Cyrus, whoever.
Jimmy?
At the outset, I would like to talk about the timing of this book. And the timing of this book, according to me, is rather perfect. And so is the title. The title is Twilight Years. And Ruzbeh, I'm talking to you. This Twilight Years, how delicate, how fragile this Twilight Years is, it's coming out from something that I'm about to tell you and those who are listening to us, that today at around 4:35, I picked up the book again, and I thought, let me read at least one story once more. And I picked up the last story in the book, 25th, which is Gulabdas Panchal's story, which is narrated by his son Prakash Panchal.
Yeah.
And Prakash is telling you through the whole story that it is my father. Prakash also met Baba. That's beside the point. But by and large, the story is about his father, Gulab. And he narrates all the story. In between, he keeps saying that my daddy is no more, my daddy is no more, my mother is no more. And you have physically and personally interviewed Prakash at, according to me, at Upper Meherabad outside Samadhi.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But today, this Prakash himself is no more.
Yeah.
Just imagine the fragility of this term Twilight Years. Within 2-3 months, maybe, or maybe 6 months, he's gone from the time of interview. So this Twilight Years is so apt. This book I've written in my forward also. That book is not for today's generation, today people who are right now, because they can talk to me, they can talk to the others, Cyrus and the others who have met Baba, and they can sit with those people and hear them upfront. This story, I've used the word in the book, is for posterity. Within 2 years, 3 years, I may be gone. Within 10 years, most of 25, beg your pardon, but within 10 years, most of 25 will have gone. And this book will literally come in the forefront at that point in time. Not today. Therefore, I've used the word posterity, and I stand by my word posterity. Today, it's okay. Today, people are most welcome to read it. It's a universal book, but posterity will bless you.
Thank you.
Because you are leaving something for them, not for those who are around today. So this is what I have to say about the book.
Humble, sir. Humble, Jimmy. Thank you so much.
What else did you want me to tell? Sorry, beg your pardon.
This only you've said as much that this important time where these stories are left behind for the current and the forward generation to know about Baba, and there couldn't be a bigger divine timing than what it is right now. So I would get on to Cyrus to share something about Haji.
Sorry, 1 second. Ruzbeh, tell us about what you said in the earlier interview about Mera Arjan. Mera Arjan. You said at the last interview. Just repeat it very quietly. Tell the audience. About your interview with her.
Yeah. So when I went to Meherabad and I had met Mehnat and Kilkarji and Roshani and all, I was given this name, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know. Nobody told me she was sick or anything. They said, go and meet her. So I gave her a call, and on the phone, I thought the connection was not good because, the voice would come after a while. And she gave me a time. It was around 4:35 in the evening. And I remember going to the house, and it's the cottage is it's quite a big property, and a lady ushered me in, and then from far away I saw her walking, and she was struggling. I could make out she was putting a great effort to come, and then she sat down. And in 2 minutes time, I realized that what she has in her heart, what she has in her mind, she's not being able to verbalize it because of her illness. But I'll tell you, if you ask me which is that one interview which truly, truly affected me, where I saw true love, in the form of love in the eyes, not in words, was her. Because she was struggling to answer everything. Her mind would fail her, the words wouldn't come out. But one thing was clear, her love for Meher Baba. I mean, her love for Meher Baba was so immense that I went back very humbled. It is the shortest story in the book. But for me, it always will remind me of how someone's love can pour forth from the eyes when the words are not willing to come out. And I asked her that, you've gone through this illness, there's so much of suffering. And so what do you have to say? And she just said, with a lot of effort, she said, I love Meher Baba. And I think, you know what, that really, really brought tears to my eyes. Because see, I'll tell you what, one thing that I found beautiful in the followers of Meher Baba is they are not expecting or they are not seeking a miracle. They love Baba. If a miracle does happen, great. If it doesn't happen, Baba. You see, other followers of other gurus, they kind of have this feeling that a miracle will take place. I will get out of this, But all the people who I've spoken to, most of them have suffered personal loss, ill health, tragedies in their family. But yet, their love for Meher Baba shines forth. There is no complaint, which I think is phenomenal. Because this is how Sai Baba wanted love to be. It should not be a business deal. That's why even Sai Baba said in the end, I am tired, the shopkeepers are troubling me. When he meant shopkeepers, he meant all the devotees who just came to ask for more and more and more. And this is one thing I am very humbled in, when I met Meher Baba lovers. They are not looking for miracles. Like sickness, death, tragedy, they say Baba has a plan. Baba has a plan. Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that, Ruzbeh ji. And this is a big, huge part of the Baba lover community. And personal, global, whatever adversity it may be, but the strength that Baba's love gives us all, I can say, and that I have seen. I'm just a little infant in Baba's love for the last decade, but just to see from the lives that are around us, like Cyrus, Jimmy Uncle, and so many more, that it is that implicit conviction, not even faith, I would say conviction, that Baba is playing a role every nanosecond, and come what may, it is Baba. And the asking part, as you said, also, I have seen the most minuscule, though, yes, we all ask, and I feel, that asking never stops. If he is my father, mother, and everything, then I will ask because he's the only one to ask. But what uh, plays the important role is to ask and leave it whether he wants to answer or not. So there's this nice Hindi line, marzi, that arzi hamari, marzi aapki. And then you leave it there and let Baba do the rest. So I would go back to Cyrus, asking him about to share with us a little on Baba's manifestation period for people who do not know about Baba and for the first time will be interacting with this book. Could you share with us about the manifestation period and how this book plays an important role in the 52nd, 53rd year that now we are going to be in?
There's a word in English called synchronicity. I would call it that when the divine grace, when the divine nazar of Meher Baba or any master is on somebody and something, everything just takes its own place. Means everything settles down the way it is supposed to. And that's what I feel for the book. The very fact that the initiation of the book came from none other than the Kutube Irshad, Shirdi Sai Baba, who is the head of the five perfect masters and the spiritual hierarchy. There is no way but this book to have a life of its own, much after we've all gone off. You see? So it's all preordained, pre-planned for the book to come at a particular time. And we had the time and the space to really do it at our own leisure because of the pandemic, thanks to the pandemic. You see? And coming to manifestation, Baba had beautifully said, that during the Autaric period, which is as understood by many to be 100 years after Baba drops his body, love and direct relatedness to the avatar is the high roads of all roads leading to inner development. And during that period, it would be a waste of time and waste of energy to go into some other medium of working through spirituality. In short, what I feel is that all that we need to do is to have complete, absolute trust and faith in Meher Baba and to hold on to his daman with both ends, no matter what, and he will sail us through. You see, that is what I understand. The book will definitely help people to understand the many facets of the avatar's human life. Forget about spirituality, which we cannot really gauge. To give you an example, just a few examples that comes to my mind. Let's say the story of Sam Patel, where he wanted to run away from Baba, but we all should know that it is not we who hold on to his daman, it is he who catches us and brings us back to his fold. We can see that in that story, that howsoever you want to run away, he will catch you back into his fold. The other aspect of Meher Baba's omniscience, which we can see from Kumar's story, where he was jailed and he told within his own heart, that Mr. God, if you at all exist, release me from this jail the next morning. And it happened. And he forgot about the whole incident till many years after he joined Baba and something went and Baba reminds him, I am that Mr. God. So that omniscience part comes through, you see. And then you can see about his magnanimity of giving to somebody what he wishes to give. And that is one of my very favorite stories. And I had heard this before from Michael LePage himself. And that is Baba threw a candy, a chocolate, somebody intercepted. So Baba is telling him to come before that person, so that he doesn't intercept. And Baba throws and he tries to catch and it falls off. A second time, Baba says, come closer, it falls off. Come closer, it falls off. Till such time where Baba actually puts it in his hand and closes the fist. That just imagine the love and the magnanimity of our most beautiful avatar, that if he wants to give something, he will ensure that we get it. So it is so beautiful that if we are destined to get something from Baba, he will see that it doesn't matter, as they say, he does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called. So if we are all the few fortunate called, then we don't have to worry about our own weaknesses, about our own shortcomings, about our own how bad we are, how ugly we are, and all that. Because Baba's one very beautiful statement is seeds germinate in soft soil. I sow the seeds of my love not in your strength, but in your weaknesses. So we all should be very open to Baba and just resign ourselves to Baba, no matter who we are, what we are, how ugly, vulgar, sinful, vicious we may be. He will accept it like that OLX thing, as is, where is condition. It comes out from that book, that Baba accepts each one of us in the position and in the condition that we are. I'm very sure this book will go a long way, as Jimmy said, for posterity, and it will be one of the shining books, in future, where people will take clue, will people will that get the cue of what the avatar, how the avatar lived, what were the standards of the avatar, and how we can mold ourselves to be one with the avatar. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. That was really insightful. Thank you. And yes, as you rightly said, that when he chooses us for the call, then he qualifies us and we don't have to worry. So thank you for that reassurance for all the little infants in the school of Baba's love. So, moving forward, I will ask as we come towards the last part of our session today. If anybody has a question that you would like to ask either Ruzbeh, Jimmy Uncle, or Cyrus, please put up your hands digitally and we shall take on the questions. We already have one hand. Ruzbeh, is there anything else that you would like to share?
The openness in which Cyrus, Jimmy, Manath, Jenny Ketting, the openness in which you'll give your time, you'll give your expertise, you'll give your knowledge, you'll give your experience to a stranger, all in the name of the avatar, is very humbling. Is very humbling. And this book, I felt, got written by itself, and I made it a conscious effort to keep the lingo, the communication. I was trying to keep the lingo intact in the book. I wanted the reader to feel as though he or she is with us when this is taking place. And Baba would keep telling me in my prayers, when I used to pray to Sai Baba, he would say, Abhi kitab likho. And I would keep telling Baba, Baba, I don't have time, I'm really busy. And then the lockdown came. Then Baba, with a tiny time, likho abhi. So, I just feel everything fell in place. Everything fell in place, and I can only see Meher Baba's hand in it. I can only see Meher Baba's hand in it because remember, I'm outsider to the community, but I was embraced by the community. And very ironically, my first book, The Last Marathon, was also on Meher Baba. So my first book and my 21st book both were on Meher Baba. So, I don't know what his plans are. But Roshni, you have not spoken about yourself. What do you think of the book? What do you think? You were involved in a very big way.
I, I can only say that, when I read these 25 names in the stories, the first thing that gave me this huge feeling of a blessing is that barring about two or three people, I have personally known all of the entire story list. And that was huge for me of just thanking Baba that I could, even though like I've not met the Mandli besides just Bhauji. So when I entered Baba's, the web of love, as I said, only Bhauji was there and have been extremely close. And I owe it to Bhauji for gifting me Baba's name Roshani, as Bhauji gave that in 2012. And besides that, in just these 10 years, to know about these lives of, as I say, love, obedience, and surrender. The three important pillars which I see of what Baba has shared in his living ministry and thereafter for us to live by. And I'm not a voracious reader, so I've not read any Baba book cover to cover as such, though it may seem I would know a lot. But for me, Baba is in stories. I feel each person, each Baba lover that Baba has blessed me to know has been a bag full of knowledge and stories about what it is to love and live Baba. And that is what Cyrus and I did together when Baba, I felt that this should be done. Words are there, books are there, but how do I put into action? And I feel reading these, stories sporadically, but your book has brought the entire collection, the treasury, the pearls all together, that I don't have to go one piecemeal to a blog, to a site and read about it. It is this treasure, as Jimmy Uncle said, for posterity, that we will go back and read what is this. And that is what I plan to do, as I read each story. What is it that I can take from this story? What is it, Baba, that you can help me put into action into my life that can change a tomorrow for me? And that is what I feel this book would be. It would be my syllabus to literally live Baba's life, because I know Baba's words. But this tells me how these people had the grace to live those words. And that is huge for me as a little one in Baba's love. And it means a lot. And I cannot thank enough Cyrus, Noshirwan, Mehernath ji, Jimmy Uncle, and Meher Verma. All of these stories are there in your thing. Then Hilla auntie, who's in her 90s, and yet at least once in 2 weeks she'll send me these pictures of these wonderful blooms, and it will be Baba roses. And just last month she sent me where from one stalk there are 7 roses popping out. And I said, 7 is 25. Hilandi, this is Baba's birthday. And 7 roses from one. So, the little things, as you said, we don't look out for miracles. But the little things that Baba does out of his love, there is one words to effect, as Cyrus tells, a story when somebody asked Erach Jasawala, who is Baba's Mandli, close disciple of Baba and also Baba's interpreter, was asked that you say Baba doesn't do miracles and Baba doesn't give what you want, but every time I come to Merazad, somebody is telling Baba ne ye kar diya, Baba ne wo kar diya, Baba did this for me, Baba got the job for me, my nephew this happened, niece that happened. So how is this? How come it's contradicting? And Erich told him a sweet story that when you are a child, you need candies, you need chocolates, you need things. So when you just enter Baba's, love, then Baba will do that to keep you, I call that in my mind marketing strategy. And then Baba will do that little kid in the candy shop act to keep you in his love. But as you get matured in Baba's love, then Baba will know how to give you the strength to love him without any candy. This is my words. That is what I took from that story. And that was again a huge kind of epiphany for me at that point in time, that yes, Baba will not give everything that you want, he will give everything that you need. And I can say that because Baba got me out when he was not even there in physical form, of me knowing him as Meher Baba in my life. And I've come from ground zero where I didn't know where next penny would come from in my life, and from there Baba has lifted me to be in this loving Babaful home where he thrives and lives every moment. And we do these happy satsangs where we meet. And yes, today also I would like to share, I know it's off the track, but I would like to share 91 years old Ali Ramju, who was the son of Ramju Abdullah, again, another close disciple and Mandli member, merged with Baba yesterday. And today his burial took place in Lower Mehrabad. And see how Baba's timing, as we were talking about the book's divine timing, that every satsang we used to get some old Baba lover to share with us youngsters their stories and experiences. And Ramju ji was there, Ali Ramju was there on the 5th of January as the New Year satsang of 2020 and the last satsang of before the lockdown. I have goosebumps right now. And he shared with us of how he has not been the literal conventional follow Baba to the T, but has his own way, of being connected to Baba and listening to Baba. And it gave so many of us that reassurance that each of us have to respect and honor our own way with the avatar. And there is no one way, there is no menu card with the avatar. He, as Baba himself has said, he deals with each one of us as per our own melody. And that is what it is. And each of us have our own way, whether he persuades us and brings us in with some chocolate, toffee, biryani, vada pav, McDonald's, we don't know. But each of our ways with the avatar is unique. And I feel that this tells me the myriad ways in which the avatar works in each of our lives. And I will cherish this book forever. And I would, as planned, buying lots of copies of this book to gift during our satsangs as we do with all other Baba books. And I wish that every month one person will get this book somewhere down the line when we begin the satsangs. Jai Meher Baba.
Okay.
So yes, would like to ask any question. We have Sridharji, who's been raising his hand for a long time. His hand must be aching. Sridharji, Jai Baba, please ask. Please unmute and ask.
Jai Baba to everyone. First of all, I'm very delighted here to be with you all, and congratulate Bharucha ji and also Roshani ji for Bharucha for Baba has chosen him for bringing the book, and Roshani ji to deliver the book to us. And I'm also blessed with Sai Baba in the initial stages, and I too have been Baba has been bought here with I too have been tested 3 times. I too have been tested 3 times. Not he tested me, I tested him actually. So in all the tests, he has been successful within no time. And after that success, he has tested me 3 times. So that was almost 6 months it took, and it was on thorns. So here, one question I want to ask Bharucha ji, that you have come from, you two have been come from Sai Baba. I don't know how and connection, how it was. And one only in the books we will be reading the history that Baba has been connected only once, like saying "Oh Parvardigar," and "Oh Parvardigar" 3 times. And apart from that, any connections do you feel to be to give the concepts to the Avatar Meher Baba fold people? And one more thing also I want to I have in something in mind about your funny thing that you have been asked. So the people have been excitingly, they are telling their words, but after reading the proof, they are unmatching it. So here, everyone are in a path in to merge into the Baba actually. So everyone, nobody is perfect. So everyone is on the path to merge in Baba. So here, when we are talking, Maya is there, and when we are reading from Baba. So there, some different with that gap, we could able to see that fun. Thank you for that, and I want to ask Bharucha ji about any corrections of.
See, Sridhar, you must understand one thing, that as far as I know, Sai Baba has tremendous love for Meher Baba. When I hold workshops where I talk about Sai Baba, invariably the avatar is mentioned and avatar's philosophy is mentioned. When I wrote the book Sai Oneness, which is a biography on Baba, uh, I have devoted one entire chapter of Meher Baba to in the book. My daughter's name is Meher. Okay, and I got a name when she was just conceived, and I asked Baba that, what do you want me to name my child? And in a split second, he just said Meher. So I would like to believe that Sai and Meher are one. I would like to believe that there is great love. There is great love between them, and you know, I just feel there have been innumerable times when Sai Baba has told me, go to Meherabad, or Sai Baba has told me, read this on Meher Baba. So I have a very strong feeling that they love each other a lot.
Yeah, truly.
Thank you, Sridhar.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jai Baba. We'll move on to the last question, presumably, because Dheeraj, your hand is up. What is the question that you would like to ask, and to whom? Dheeraj Sangyam, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Great. First is thank you, Cyrus, to invite me to this webinar. And second is thank you, Roshani, to host this. And third is thank you, Ruzbeh, to write this book. And what I have to say is all these 25 people who have been recorded in this book of Ruzbeh, can we have a video log or something, where we can cherish and commemorate these 25 souls, or as Jimmy said, 40 souls, who have been with Baba and are present on today's date on this planet Earth. If we can do something as on date, just to be with them.
I was very keen. I was very keen on actually doing a joint session, a video along with the book. But what I've noticed is that many times people get very conscious when the camera is in their face.
Mm-hmm.
People get even conscious when I say I'm starting the recorder. They'll be talking very freely, and then I'll say, okay, can I now start recording? And, there's a lot of diffidence. I don't know why. Oh my God, you're recording. And I feel the spontaneity does not come through. And that is one of the reasons why I decided that no, I'll not do any videography. My book on Dada Vaswani has an entire volumes of videos where we both are talking, Dada Vaswani and myself, and it's come out in a book form. I had actually wanted to do this with the Twilight songs too, but I realized that not many people were comfortable. And I think that is, but it's a very good suggestion. This is something that Jimmy, Cyrus, Roshani can, get the ball moving, because they have the fingers on the pulse. They are the stars. So, this is something which I think is a very good idea, because somebody needs to collate the Magnificent 40.
Thank you so much, Ruzbeh. Thanks, Dheeraj. And yes, I feel, the 25 stories, these are 25 names. But actually, if we go to see, the stories are far more than 25, because with each person, there are so many more lives involved, with their parents, with their siblings, with their friends, with their neighbors, and so many others who got onto, the life's bandwagon when they came to know, or they got onto the bandwagon of somebody else who was already there knowing Baba. So I'm sure that this is going to be, like, as I said, one hell of a treasury for all of us to keep for our lives, and always get back to as to what can I learn from here, and what can I take back home to put it into action. So, as we close, I would ask Cyrus and Jimmy Uncle to just say any closing words about beloved Baba, any quote that really stands strong in your life, or any little incident that you would like to close this session with.
Uh,
Cyrus, Jimmy
Jimmy
Uncle?
first.
Yes.
Roshni, you asked me about Baba's manifestation, and I missed out on that question because I got carried away with the other question. Talking about Baba's manifestation, I've always believed that there is not going to be something like a big bang in the sky, and 6 billion people will hear that big bang, and out of 6 billion, 3 billion will come to Meherabad. That's not going to be. That is not how Baba's manifestation is going to be. His manifestation is going to be in each one's heart. Baba will open out in each one's heart as they are ready for Baba's manifestation. That is how Baba's manifestation will churn and will start. And we see that over a period of last 50 years that I've been visiting Meherabad, 52, I've seen I've seen growth in the number of people who have been walking up the hill. I I attended the first the first Amar Tithi, and I've attended the maybe 50th Amar Tithi, and I know the difference. I've attended the silence of 10th July, the early years. Now the silence is something like a mini Amar Tithi. So by and by it's happening, but it's happening slowly. But but it will take its time, but it will happen. It will happen. But there's something I need to add in closing. That someone asked Baba that Baba, you have been saying that thousands will come and lakhs will come. That was I'm talking about during Baba's physical presence. And Baba said, when this man asked him that where are those thousands? So Baba said, but then they will not be my lovers. Exactly what Baba meant was that they will be Mago people. They will not come to Meherabad Hill, they will not walk up Meherabad Hill for the love of Meher. They will walk up Meherabad Hill for, as Ruzbeh said, Dukanwalas, what phrase Ruzbeh used, the shopkeepers. So that Mago thing will bring hordes and hordes and hordes. But today you see, people come just out of sheer love for Meher and not for any barter business. Okay, I end here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy Uncle. Thank you so much. So very true. And yes, Cyrus.
Well, I would say that the whole of this gimmick of creation is having only one mudda, one goal, as Baba says, that is to experience union with God. It may be a very high sounding thing, but we are all supposed to go there and be one with Lord. And I feel that the easiest, safest, and the quickest way is constant, wholehearted remembrance of His name. I don't see any other key, any other chabi, which is more efficient than this key of remembering His name. Even in Baba's My Wish, Baba has given out My Wish. And this is my favorite, the last one, where Baba is emphasizing that I say with my divine authority to each and all, that whosoever takes my name at the time of breathing his last comes to me. So do not forget to remember me in your last moments. Unless you start remembering me from now on, it will be difficult to remember me when your end approaches. You must start practicing from now on. Even if you take my name just once every day, you will not forget to remember me in your dying moments. This is Baba's wish, that we should all merge with him. And he has given us the key. The key is the remembrance, and we should make, I might sound a little very pompous as I always do. This should be our last life, to be merged in him. And why not? When he has given us the key, why run after the Chintu Pintu, Chota Mota, Chamatkar, Karmakand and Riddhi Siddhi and all that? Why not just focus on his name, on his companionship, and be done with it, and then pop off to the big pop that is Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. And Ruzbeh ji, your few last words for this session today.
I just know one thing. Eventually, it is only love that is going to get us across. Selfless love. We are flawed, and that's how we are. But our love shouldn't be flawed. It's all right if we are flawed. But our love for our master, the love for the avatar shouldn't be flawed. It should not have any traces of dhanda, business. Many times I have asked this question when I've conducted workshops, especially of Sai Baba. And I've asked this one question. I said, suppose Baba comes in front of you, physically materializes in front of you, and tells you, my portfolio has been changed. From now, I can't grant any wishes. I can love you like a grandparent, a parent, but I cannot grant you any wishes. In trouble, I can't help you. The question to ask is, how many of us would yet love Baba? How many of us would be making that trip to Shirdi? How many of us would be making that trip to Meherabad? And if we are honest with ourselves, and if the answer comes that I don't care whether Baba can do anything for me, I just love him, I think we are sorted. We may be flawed, but I think our love is not flawed. And that's what I would like to end with, that on this path, no matter what happens, take care of that love. Don't let anything sully that love. Everything else will be fine. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for being there. And we will end our wonderful session with something that all Baba lovers love, really, which is the Meher Dhun, followed by the Australian Aarti, which is one of the Aartis done at the Samadhi every single day, morning and night. So I will share the audio, and we can all be in beloved Baba's love while we intend the prayer and the Dhun in our hearts.
Baba, Meher 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 Baba.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।
O glorious, eternal, ancient one, your face is a bright, transcendental sun. Lighten this dark world and the tears I weep. My heart, Meher, I give to you to keep. Creator, yet creationless you are. Truth and truth's body, divine avatar. Through compassion, the three worlds maintain. Destroy this ignorance that life sustains. These five lights are the whirling spokes of breath of the world's wheel that bears me unto death. Unless you are infinitely kind, break the wheel of which is conditioned mind. This incense is my love, these fruits my art, which to please you I have shaped from my heart. Accept them as you would a simple flower that has no use beyond its shining hour. You are myself, I sing to you in praise, and beg your love to bear me through the day, till you, the ever-living perfect one, illume my darkness with your shining sun.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. We'll have 1 minute of silence. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. We can all unmute and now say Avatar Meher Baba ki jai 3 times.
Avatar
Avatar Meher
Meher
Baba
Baba
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Avatar
Avatar
Meher
Meher
Baba
Baba
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Avatar
Avatar
Meher
Meher
Baba
Baba
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Ruzbeh
you.
ji. Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you, Jimmy
Thank
uncle.
you. Thank you, Ruzbeh.
Thank you, everyone,
Thank you,
for being
Roshani.
there.
Jai Baba. Jai
Thank you
Baba.
very much. Thank you to all the lovely Baba lovers and friends on Facebook for being there with us for this evening. Thank you so much. Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.